Hey Active Xer, so the question I'm going to be answering is how can lower back pain radiate to the front? So can you get abdominal or lower abdominal pelvic pain from your lower back? The first method by which this can happen is it's called referred pain. So in essence, your lower back has nerves coming from it. So think about the lumbar spine. At every level you have a pair of nerves, right and left. So we'll start at lumbar 1, L1, and we go all the way down to lumbar 5. And below that we get down into sacral nerves. But basically, the lumbar spine, nerves right and left, L1 down to L5. Now each of those nerves will supply structures at the back, but they'll also supply potentially structures at the front, particularly from L1 down to about L3. Once we get down into kind of L4, L5 and below, those nerves go down your legs. So when we talk about sciatica, as I've often said before, sciatica is not a diagnosis, it is a description, and it simply refers to pain and or pins and needles in the distribution of your sciatic nerve, which is essentially buttock and down the outside and back of the thigh and pretty much everything below the knee. So that's sciatica, and in just the same way, if you have a problem with one of the upper lumbar nerves, L1 to 3, those nerves come around the abdominal wall. So you can certainly get pain around the front, down into the groin area as well, coming from those upper lumbar nerves. Now that's what we call nerve root or spinal nerve irritation, but you can also have this referred pain mechanism. So if you can imagine, each of those nerves supplies structures at the back, it also supplies structures at the front. So you could have simply strained a muscle in your back, and that muscle might be supplied by the L1 nerve root, but because the L1 nerve root also supplies the kind of upper to mid-abdominal area, you could have pain referred to the front. So same nerve supply, but you're feeling the pain in potentially two different places or just in the front. So you might have strained a muscle in your back, but not really be aware of any back pain. It's all radiating to the front because the nerve supply is coming from the back and affecting or running all the way through to the front. So that's the first mechanism by which low back pain can cause pain to radiate round to the front. The second reason is, we're going to flip this around and actually say it is possible that you could have a problem at the front that's causing pain to be felt at the back. And this is this referred pain mechanism. So you could have strained something at the front, for instance, but that something, like a muscle, let's say, has the same nerve supply as tissues at the back. So you've actually hurt something at the front, but you're feeling some pain around the back, possibly only, but more likely in addition to. So you might have pain at the front and at the back, but it's actually all originating from the front. In my experience, that isn't that common. What's certainly more common is that you could have a visceral structure. So viscera is essentially your abdominal organs in this case. So stomach, intestines, duodenal, all these different bits, kidneys. Now that could be causing you pain at the front, but could also cause pain at the back. And I just mentioned there kidneys. Kidneys is actually a relatively common one. So you could have some discomfort at the front, but actually kidney pain is most commonly felt around at the back. But it is an abdominal structure, so you could certainly feel some pain radiating around to the front. So I've kind of flipped this one around and said it may be that the pain in the back is actually radiating from the front. So always think about that possibility, that it could be a front structure causing the pain around the back. Okay, now probably worth me saying, lower back pain, the vast majority, 99.9%, are essentially kind of mechanical lower back issues, and only 1 in 1,000 are kind of medical issues. that require more investigation. And if you want more help working out which group you're most likely to be in, then if you go to backpainsciatica.co.uk and do the free assessment, that will take you through a series of questions and answers that will work out, whether this is something that you need to be, should be consulting somebody about, or something that can either be self-managed or managed by somebody like me. Okay, so that's the second mechanism by which lower back pain can radiate to the front, or in this case, actually in reverse. Turning things around a little bit and saying, well, yes, we explored actually how lower back problems can radiate to the front. In the second video, I talked about how actually front problems can radiate round to the back. And this one is about how you could have two different problems. So it is always important to consider the possibility that you could have a problem causing your back pain, and you could have a different problem causing pain around to the front. And of course, as I referred to in the previous second video, there's a whole bunch of structures in the front. We talk about your abdominal contents that could cause pain at the front. So you might have, for instance, basically like IBS, an irritable bowel, and that can give you discomfort at the front. But at the same time, you might be sitting in such a position that you're kind of chronically straining your lower back, and that's giving you back pain as well. So, oh, woe is me, you have two problems, an irritable bowel and an irritable back. So now, of course, there's a whole host of other possibilities that could cause you pain at the front, and a number of possibilities that could cause you pain at the back, and you may need help in working out exactly what the cause of that is. So always seek medical advice if you have a persistent pain, a pain that hasn't got an obvious cause. So if you lifted something super heavy and immediately thought, oh, I've hurt my back, then hey, there's a good chance that's the cause of your back pain. But then with abdominal pain, often there isn't a clear cause. It's not like, oh, this happened and then immediately I got abdominal pain. They often kind of creep up on you. And so it's very important to seek medical advice, or a healthcare practitioner, regulated healthcare practitioner, who can support you in working out exactly what's wrong with you and what is the most appropriate course of action. So there we have it. We had, first, you can have strain problems in your back that can cause radiating pain around to the front. You can certainly have a problem in the front that can cause pain to radiate around to the back. And of course, you can have two different problems, one at the back and one at the front, causing coexisting pains. It was all very complicated, isn't it? But hey, that's the human body. And actually, it isn't that complicated, especially if, like me, you've specialised in an area for a long time. It's all about pattern recognition. So I will almost certainly, within 2 or 3 minutes of hearing your story, have formulated a hypothesis. Now, sometimes it's wrong, but more often than not, I'm right, simply because I've spent so many years specialising in lower back problems and sciatica. So if you want help in that department, you know how to reach me, either if you're local in Scotland, active-x.co.uk, or internationally, backpainsciatica.co.uk. You can get self-help there, online course, all manner of means to support you in getting better, not just relieving, but also preventing lower back pain and sciatica. Okay, speak to you again soon.